"You're not allowed here." Those 4 words echoed through the grand hotel lobby, stopping every conversation in the room. Guests turned their heads. Employees froze. Even the soft music playing in the background seemed to disappear. Standing at the entrance was a tired black father holding the hand of his young daughter. In his other hand was a small travel bag. His clothes were simple, and after hours of driving, both of them looked exhausted. His daughter smiled innocently and asked, "Daddy, is this where we're sleeping tonight?" The father smiled back, trying to hide his exhaustion. "Yes, sweetheart. Let's get you something to eat and a good night's sleep." As they approached the front desk, the receptionist looked them up and down with an expression that immediately changed the atmosphere. "Can I help you?" she asked coldly. "I have a reservation under the name Michael Carter," the father replied politely. The receptionist typed on the computer for a few seconds before suddenly stopping. She looked at him again, then whispered something to the security guard standing nearby. "I'm sorry," she said. "There's no room available." Michael remained calm. "That's strange. I booked it online 3 days ago." The receptionist didn't even bother checking again. "I said we're full," before Michael could respond. The security guard stepped forward. "Sir, I'm going to have to ask you to leave." His little daughter squeezed his hand tighter. "Daddy. Did we do something wrong?" Michael knelt beside her and smiled. "No, princess. We didn't do anything wrong." Several guests watched silently. Some looked uncomfortable, while others simply ignored what was happening. Michael stood back up. "I'd just like someone to verify my reservation." The receptionist crossed her arms. "Sir, you're causing a disturbance. I haven't raised my voice. Please leave before we call the police." The lobby became completely silent. Michael looked around at every employee. Not one person questioned what was happening. Not one manager came forward. Not one person asked for the facts. Finally, Michael nodded calmly. "All right," he said. He reached into his jacket pocket. The receptionist smirked, assuming he was searching for an argument. Instead, Michael pulled out a small black card. He placed it gently on the counter. The receptionist glanced at it. Her confident smile disappeared instantly. The color drained from her face. Her hands began shaking because the card didn't belong to an ordinary guest. It belonged to the owner. The receptionist stared at the card as if she had seen a ghost. Her lips trembled. This can't be real." Michael looked at her calmly. "It is." She quickly flipped the card over, checking every detail. Everything matched before she could say another word. The hotel manager walked out from his office after hearing the commotion. "What's going on here?" The receptionist nervously pointed toward Michael. He says he's the owner." The manager laughed. "The owner? That's impossible." He walked over confidently. "Sir, I'm afraid impersonating the owner is a serious offense." Michael smiled politely. "Would you like to verify it?" The manager took the card. The smile disappeared from his face. He checked the identification number. Then he checked the company database on his tablet. His eyes grew wider every second. "No. He refreshed the page. Same result. Owner, Michael Carter." The manager suddenly stood frozen. Every employee noticed his expression changing. He slowly looked up. "Mr. Carter. The receptionist nearly collapsed. Guests whispered among themselves. "Wait. He's really the owner." The security guard immediately stepped backward. Michael remained calm. "I wanted a quiet evening with my daughter." He looked around the lobby. "Instead, I was judged before anyone even confirmed my reservation." No one spoke. His daughter looked up at him. "Daddy. Are we staying here now?" Michael smiled warmly. "Yes, sweetheart." Then he turned toward the employees. "But first, we're going to learn something important." Michael asked everyone to gather in the lobby. Employees lined up nervously. Some couldn't even make eye contact. The receptionist fought back tears. I'm so sorry." Michael nodded. "I appreciate the apology, but this isn't just about me." He looked toward the guests who had witnessed everything. "Imagine if I wasn't the owner Imagine I was just another father trying to give his daughter a safe place to sleep. The room became silent. Would anyone have helped me? Nobody answered. Michael continued. Discrimination doesn't always come with shouting. Sometimes it comes with assumptions. It comes with deciding who belongs. Before knowing anything about them, several employees lowered their heads. I built this hotel because I wanted every guest to feel respected. I don't care where they're from. I don't care what they wear. I don't care what color their skin is. What matters is how we treat people. His daughter smiled proudly. The guests began clapping, one by one. More people joined. Soon the entire lobby was filled with applause, but Michael wasn't finished. He looked directly at the manager. Tell me honestly, why wasn't my reservation checked properly? The manager took a deep breath. We judged you. Those 3 words echoed louder than anything else spoken that evening. The next morning, Michael held an emergency staff meeting. No cameras. No reporters. No public embarrassment, only honesty. He explained that leadership isn't about power. It's about responsibility. He announced mandatory customer service and diversity training for every employee, including managers. He also introduced a new policy. If any guest reported discrimination, it would be investigated immediately. No exceptions. The receptionist expected to be fired. Instead, Michael surprised everyone. I'm giving you another chance. She looked up in disbelief, but understand something. Second chances are earned. Respect must become your habit. Tears rolled down her face. I promise I'll do better. Michael nodded. I hope you do. Over the following months, the hotel transformed. Employees greeted every guest with genuine kindness. Reviews improved dramatically. Guests frequently commented that they had never felt more welcome anywhere else. What began as the hotel's worst day slowly became its greatest turning point. Months later, Michael and his daughter walked into the same hotel again. This time, something was different. Before they even reached the front desk, every employee smiled warmly. Welcome back, Mr. Carter. But Michael wasn't interested in being recognized as the owner. He noticed another family entering behind him. A father wearing old clothes, too tired. Children. The receptionist immediately greeted them with a bright smile. Welcome. We're so happy you're here. She treated them with exactly the same respect as every other guest. Michael smiled quietly. That was the real victory. Not because people knew who he was, but because they had finally learned to see the value in people before judging their appearance. As Michael took his daughter's hand and headed toward the elevator, she looked up and asked, Daddy, did we change the hotel? Michael smiled. No, sweetheart. We helped remind people that kindness should never depend on what someone looks like, and sometimes the greatest leaders don't teach with speeches. They teach with patience, dignity, and the courage to stand calmly in the face of unfairness, because true character isn't revealed by how you treat powerful people. It's revealed by how you treat someone you believe has no power at all. The end.